Hey everybody, I'm so glad you're here. You made it. Whether you're watching live or you're catching the replay, I'm glad that you're here for it. Since I know you're busy, I'm gonna do my best to keep these short-ish. I do have a script outline that I'm going to follow, just a little outline to keep me on task because I do have a tendency to kind of go on these little rabbit trails. Also, little note disclaimer. Um, I am recording on Zoom, streaming in this Facebook group, and there is a delay. So if you have questions or comments and you're typing those in the chat, there is a little bit of a delay between the two. And actually, I'm going to minimize this just so I don't have the distraction in the side view. Yeah, so there's a little delay, which isn't an issue, but we will just work with that. Before we jump in, I want to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. I am Nichole. I've been in the functional health space for about 13 years. And then about 4 years ago, I started a business called She Builds Health with the intent of helping women who are struggling with anxiety, depression, those feelings of overwhelm, fatigue, just those things that I saw a lot of women struggle with. And they were the things that I was struggling with. And I learned how to kind of get myself out of that. And I really wanted to help other women do the same. Moms have my heart. I'm a mom, I'm a mother of five, and moms just really have my heart. And it is just a passion of mine to help moms, which is why I'm doing this series. So, I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, which is a mouthful. So we just say FDNP. I'm also a board certified holistic health practitioner and a certified life coach. As I mentioned, I'm a mom of five. I'm a grandma. I'm a wife. Um, I'm a business owner. I feel like I'm all the things, right? Moms, we kind of are all of the things. Also, I just got this lovely cold sore yesterday, which is distracting me. So if it's distracting you, I'm just going to get that out of the way. We'll try to ignore it for the rest of this time. So today, what we're going to talk about is why you're tired and anxious all the time, what one of those reasons could be, and how our blood sugar balance can hold the key to this. But before we do that, I want to give a quick note, little disclaimer that I always give. So I'm not a doctor. Nothing I share here is meant to diagnose, treat, or replace the medical advice of your provider. As a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, my role is just to come alongside of you with education, encouragement, and tools for self-care, not to offer medical advice or make medical claims. So if we talk about anything today that brings up questions about your personal health, I always recommend that you check with your doctor or a trusted provider. Okay, so let's dive in. So if you're feeling tired or you're feeling like overwhelmed, you're feeling like you just can't get through the day, it's not just fatigue. It's not just that you're undernourished. Your body is out of balance. Your body is begging for stability. Our bodies love homeostasis. They love balance. And one of the biggest things that drive imbalance in the bodies of the women that I see is blood sugar. And so we're just going to talk about that in its simplest terms. So most of us will start our day off for breakfast, something like toast, cereal, maybe a granola bar or a bagel. Sometimes we eat nothing at all. A lot of the women that I work with, they are intermittent fasting or they just are skipping that meal. Not for any particular reason, or they're starting their day with coffee, usually with some creamer, like the sweetened creamer, or really just whatever they can grab. But breakfast is rarely a priority of the women that I work with. And then here's what happens with that. So when you eat carbohydrates, so the toast, the cereal, the granola bar, really anything that comes from a plant is a carbohydrate. But when you're eating those processed carbohydrates in the form of bread, bagel, cereal, granola bar, the creamer that you're putting in your coffee, that those, sugars and carbohydrates, we eat them and it causes our glucose to spike. That's your blood sugar. So you eat them, the processed carbohydrates, processed sugars and grains, our body digests them really quickly. So they go into our stomach, quickly get into our intestines, and then get out to the bloodstream as glucose really rapidly. And when that happens, our body pumps out insulin to bring it back down. And sometimes our blood sugar, when it shoots up quickly, it will often, like, the body's response is to really release a lot of insulin and then it comes back down quickly. We call that a blood sugar crash. And we'll feel jittery, we'll feel tired, snappy, emotional, like cue the tears, cue the irritability with our family and our children. Um, Or sometimes it can just cause that like craving for more carbohydrates, craving for more sugar, craving for coffee, craving for a soda, whatever your thing is. So we'll eat that, do that, drink the coffee, have the sugar, have the carbohydrate. Again, it shoots our blood sugar up. Insulin comes in, drops it down. We call this our blood sugar roller coaster, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting for our body, but it is mentally and emotionally exhausting for us as well. Then, if you take normal life and you add in chronic stress, you add in some poor sleep, throw in some skipping meals, snacking on processed foods, and we end up being in this state where we are experiencing a lot of blood sugar dysregulation symptoms, being hangry mid-morning, being foggy in the afternoon, that like brain fog, that feeling like you need a nap in the afternoon, snapping at your family at 3 p.m., craving sugar or wine at bedtime, even night waking, that waking between 2 a.m., 4 a.m., where you wake up and you just feel wide awake and you can't go back to sleep, that all can be due to our blood sugar. And it can just kind of feel like something is off. And sometimes we think it's just in our head, right? And I think that was the thing that I struggled with for so long is I thought all of my symptoms, my anxiety, my irritability, my overwhelm, my fatigue, it's because I wasn't trying hard enough. I wasn't disciplined enough to stop yelling at my kids or to just be kind or to just have a good attitude. I thought it was something like it was a spiritual issue, which it can be, or it was like a character defect. And the interesting thing is all of that went away from me when I got things balanced out. And I know it can get better for you too. So what can we do, right? So now we kind of know what that can look like, but what can we do? And the very first shift that changes pretty much everything for my for the women that I work with, for the moms that I work with, is to start your day off with blood sugar stabilizing breakfast. And so here's the key. You need protein. And now if you were in the Facebook group and I asked the question, like I did ask a question like, what do you typically have for breakfast? Right. I was trying to prime your brain to get you ready for this. I also asked how much protein, I did a protein post, like how much protein do you think you eat during the day? And for women, it is really common that we're not eating enough protein. It's just common, and that we're skipping breakfast, or that we're not eating like a robust breakfast. So the key is protein. We need protein, we need healthy fat, and we need fiber. And when we eat those foods together with our breakfast, it slows down the digestion. Um, it gives us that satiety. It gives us the protein that we need to produce our neurotransmitters, to produce our enzymes, to think clearly, to do all of those things that we just so desperately want to do. Um, and it keeps us off of that blood sugar roller coaster. So starting your day with a breakfast that has protein, healthy fat, and fiber will impact the way that you sleep that night. If you can do this within 30 to 60, 60 to 90 minutes of waking, that's ideal. But if you can't, no guilt. We're just going to start where you're at. So what does a blood sugar stabilizing breakfast actually look like? Like protein, fat, fiber, okay, fine. But what does that look like? And I will share something in the group later if you guys want that. Comment if you want me to share a little cheat sheet for breakfast. But what we're looking for is we want to aim for around 30 grams of protein. And oftentimes, the fat that comes with the protein that we're eating or that we're cooking that protein in is enough. And then we want to add in some fiber. Now, fiber we would typically get from like fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, that type of thing. So, a couple of examples: eggs, turkey sausage links, and some either sauteed spinach or like half an avocado or a cup of blueberries. So one egg roughly has 6 grams of protein. Two turkey sausage links has about 10 grams, depending on what you're getting. I really like the Applegate sausages. I also love the Amy Lou brand breakfast sausages. Those are also good ones. I have a recipe for a turkey breakfast sausage um, that goes really well and like egg bakes, or depending on your morning, you might just eat it right out of the freezer bag that you freeze it in. Sometimes I do that. So another example, so eggs are a great one. 2 eggs, 3 eggs. We're just really aiming to total that 30 grams of protein for breakfast. And then again, the eggs where you would be getting the fat with that breakfast would be in the eggs themselves, keep the yolks. The yolks are like little nutrient powerhouses. We don't want to get rid of those yolks. If you're cooking them in like real butter, that that combination is good for your fat. Or if you're scrambling the eggs, throwing some spinach in there too, that will get you your could you a good dose of veggies in the morning and your fiber. Okay, so again, that's around 30 grams. I'm a coffee drinker. So if you're a coffee drinker, one of the ways that I top off my morning protein is I put a scoop of collagen in my coffee. I like Great Lakes Wellness collagen. It's unflavored, unsweetened. I put one scoop, it's about 9-10 grams. So that always gets me over that hump if for some reason that the food that I'm eating is not getting me over that. That will round that up to that 30 grams of protein when you add that in there. Excuse me. So another example is Greek yogurt. So if you high quality Greek yogurt, conventional dairy is another whole topic. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but a high quality Greek yogurt with not a lot of added junk in it, really, your Greek yogurt should not have guar gum or like stabilizers, or some of them have cornstarch. You really want to look for a Greek yogurt that has the ingredients are milk and cultures. Like that's it, milk and cultures. It does not need more ingredients than that. I'm a fan of organic, but start where you're at. If organic doesn't do it for you, just find a Greek yogurt that does not have a bunch of junk additive in those ingredients. Just flip that bottle or that container over, read the ingredients. If you take a cup of Greek yogurt, that has about usually 20-ish grams of protein, varies by brand. Some have 17, some have upwards of 25. Add some berries, add a tablespoon of ground flaxseed. And then if you throw in like either a scoop of collagen in your coffee, a hard-boiled egg, something along those lines, a couple sausages on the side, a couple of like the turkey sausages. Again, you can get yourself up to that 30 grams of protein. Similar to that, and often one of my go-to breakfasts is cottage cheese. When I'm just busy and don't have time to do the eggs and don't have hard-boiled eggs and don't want to deal with it, I think we all have those mornings, right? Like I know I need to eat something. So a cup of cottage cheese has 28 grams of protein. Like again, with the cottage cheese, make sure that you're looking at the back of that container and the ingredients. A lot of cottage cheeses, they have just added stuff like monoglycerides, diglycerides, guar gum. You don't need any of that. Good Culture is my favorite brand. If you live in Escanaba area, please don't go buy all of it from Meyer. They're out of it so often. Anyway, it's my favorite. Cottage cheese does not have a bunch of additives in it, which is great. Another example could be just like a smoothie with collagen, right? So a smoothie with protein powder. Add some almond butter, some spinach, and some berries. Again, those like hard-boiled eggs on the side are also kind of easy to do. Making an egg bake with turkey sausage. I prefer the reason I always recommend turkey sausage and I'm not recommending pork sausage is because pork sausage tends to be higher in fat and lower in protein, and we're really looking to get that protein in. So a turkey breakfast sausage tends to be where that's at. So this kind of breakfast and those examples that I've given you, it tells your body you are safe, you are nourished, you can calm down, right? And it gives our body the building blocks that we actually need to produce hormones, to produce neurotransmitters, to do all of the things that our body needs to do during the day. Like our body does all sorts of things that we just don't even know are happening. And we need to give it the proper building blocks. And breakfast is a very important part of that. Okay, so this week is about stabilizing your system. This is about nourishment over restriction. I kind of want you to be curious, right? I don't want you to be critical. I don't want you to kind of do the shame cycle of, well, I'm not anywhere near this right now. I have coffee with creamer for breakfast, and then I don't even eat anything until lunchtime, or I don't even eat a real meal till dinner time. That's okay. That's okay. Just acknowledge where you're at and give yourself grace with where you're starting. We all have our own starting point. Um, but what I want you to kind of start to notice is, how do you feel mid-morning? What are your cravings like? Is your mood stable throughout the day? And how are you feeling? Do you think there could be improvements to how you feel? And then what I want to do is I want you to make one small shift this week. Like after you kind of pay attention, maybe for a couple of days, how am I feeling? I want you, so between now and the next time that we have a call, which is July 22nd, so 2 weeks from today, we'll have call number two. But between now and then, I would love for you to experiment with eating a 25 to 30 gram of protein breakfast. Bonus points if it's within 60 to 90 minutes of waking, even 30 minutes of waking. So that's it. That's all I want you to do. That's your action step for these next 2 weeks. Um, Aim to get 25 to 30 grams of protein with your breakfast and aim to do it within, I'll just say 30 to 90 minutes of waking. And that's all. If you need ideas, let me know in the comments. I have a breakfast cheat sheet. It just has like a list of the proteins, a list of some of the like fibery starches that I like to use, and then a list of fruits and veggies that feel more breakfast friendly. And I can share that cheat sheet. If you're already doing this, let me know in the comments and give us all your ideas, right? Like give us your ideas of different breakfasts that you have, because we could all use some good breakfast ideas. And then what I would like you to do in the group is post what you ate for breakfast. So whether you can throw a picture in there, um, you can just put a post in there about what you ate. I will put a post where you can like comment on it, like, what did you eat for breakfast today? You can do this every day for accountability. You can do it every day to give everybody some ideas of what they can eat. And then tell us how you feel mid-morning. Pay attention to how you're feeling mid-morning, and then let us know in the group, is this working for you? We can cheer each other on by letting each other know how this is impacting us. So here's what I want you to hear from me. You don't need to do everything, right? When we hear about health, we oftentimes, it's like, oh, we need to be eating right every meal of the day. We need to be exercising or moving our body the right way every day of the week. We need to be sleeping right. We need to be doing the stress reduction. Like we think we need to be doing all of these things. And that's not true. Like, if we can work up to doing all those things over years, like I said, I've been doing this for 13 years. It has taken me 13 years, and I'm still just making little tweaks, making little shifts, making little changes in my week that are sustainable. And that's what we want to do. We want to make these changes sustainable, because if we just try to slam in a bunch of stuff all at once, we burn ourselves out. It's just another stressor. And for many of the women that I work with, it's just not sustainable. Um, so that's why I'm just giving you the one thing to do. With one thing to do, eat breakfast, 25 to 30 grams of protein, and try to do it within 30 to 90 minutes of waking. And here's the thing, start where you're at. If you're currently having a bowl of Raisin Bran for breakfast and it overwhelms you to think about what, like, how am I going to do this differently? You can still have your bowl of Raisin Bran for now. Maybe just add two hard-boiled eggs with it. Maybe if your Raisin Bran fills you up, make your bowl a little smaller and add a couple hard-boiled eggs, or make your bowl a little smaller and add a couple turkey sausages. Just start where you're at and work your way up. If doing a whole new breakfast overwhelms you. In doing these small little shifts, these small little changes, even when it's something as small as just adding protein to your breakfast, it can help to restore your energy, balance your mood, and give you that more resilient feeling. So next time we're going to build on this with another foundational shift, and it's one that many of us are missing, and it can have a huge impact on your hormones and energy, and it really piggybacks off of today. I know that I said that I was going to rotate through the topics of diet, rest, exercise, and stress reduction. We're going to stick with diet for one more week before we jump. Until then, be kind to yourself. Be curious about what your body is telling you. And remember that healing does not have to be perfect, right? Healing our bodies, taking the right steps for health, it doesn't have to be perfect. We need to learn how to give ourselves grace, remind ourselves that we are busy, but also keep in mind that we really want that. We want to feel better, right? We want to feel better. We want to take control of our health as much as we can. And these little shifts can really help. You have got this. And I'm so proud of you for being here. Thank you for being here with me.